Are you suffering from an overload of zucchini right now? Here in Asheville, where I live, the gardens are like in full growth mode. And right now we have these giant zucchinis, and I would love to do some baking today with you guys. I'm going to show you a very simple recipe. It's one of my favorite for the New York Times, Melissa Clark, amazing reviews. It straddles sweet and savory, and I'm using fresh pressed olive oil in the zucchini bread. So I'd like to show you how to make it. Come on in. All right, so in the bowl, come on in here, Megan. I have one zucchini. You know, don't use a small zucchini. Like, use a larger zucchini. You know, save the little small ones for other things like spiralizing and stuff like that. A rather large zucchini works well for this. I would say it's probably about 1.5 cups, but the recipe will be below. You'll see a link below, so definitely, you know, check out all the exact measurements for that. But it's about 1.5 cups of zucchini. I'm going to add my olive oil. I've got that here in my measuring cup. All right, I don't want to waste any of my olive oil, so I take the measuring cup, I turn that upside down in my baking dish, and I'm going to let that drip out because I'm going to brush the pan with olive oil. So I've got my fresh pressed olive oil, my zucchini. I have some eggs. Ooh, I think I hear my oven beeping. This is going to be amazing. I have some Bulgarian yogurt here, very tart Bulgarian yogurt. You can use any full-fat yogurt, but I like the tartness of the Bulgarian yogurt. All right, the other thing, let's add our vanilla extract. I have a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and you know, you can be you know, this is a pretty forgiving recipe. This is a quick bread. The thing to remember is when you're baking with olive oil, you know, a lot of recipes when you're baking call for canola oil and safflower oil and sunflower oil and a lot of other oils that are not as healthful, in my opinion, as fresh pressed olive oil. So anytime you can replace a inflammatory fat in a recipe with olive oil, that's the way to go. So whether I'm making, you know, if I'm in a pinch and I'm making a box of brownies or something for my nephews, I'll always use fresh pressed olive oil. Pancakes, fresh pressed olive oil. So really any kind of quick bread, cake, definitely consider replacing any bland oil that's inflammatory with really flavorful, fresh pressed, healthful olive oil. So anyway, just a reminder to be sure to use your olive oil in that way. I have some brown sugar here as well. I'm going to kind of toss that around. So I'm just combining all the wet ingredients, and then I'm going to let them sit here for a few minutes while I'm working on the dry ingredients. Get everything nicely incorporated. Like I said, this recipe really straddles savory and sweet. Yes, there's a lot of brown sugar in it, and of course you could use golden monk fruit or something like that if you wanted to cut down on the sugar. I'm going to let this sit right up front there, Megan. And then I'm going to work on my dry ingredients. So in the bowl, I have some all-purpose flour. I like to work that with a whisk. I think it's a great way to incorporate the other dry ingredients very evenly. I have baking soda, baking powder, whoops, a little salt, and loads of cinnamon. When I was growing up, we made a lot of zucchini bread. And one nice thing about zucchini bread, and of course you can make zucchini muffins as well, or if you make zucchini bread, it freezes very, very well. In fact, I sometimes think it even is better after it's frozen and you know, enjoyed a week or two later. So sometimes the freezing helps with the moisture. I've seen bakers do that with cakes as well. So I'm combining all the dry ingredients. Of course, one thing that this recipe needs is fresh nutmeg. One of my favorite ingredients is fresh nutmeg. So if you guys don't have a nutmeg grater, you can use a microplane. Works very well. And you can go, you know, as little or a lot, however much you prefer. And then this recipe also uses some lemon zest, actually a pretty good hefty amount of lemon zest, which I love lemon. I'm going to try this one day with my next version of this. I'm going to do with cardamom and a lot of lemon. So I'm going to try that as my next version. Leave out the nutmeg and replace that with cardamom. All right, so a lot of lemon in there. You guys get the idea. And just kind of make sure this is all nicely incorporated. And once this is all together, I'm actually going to combine the two. Have I forgotten anything, Megan? Am I on track? Yeah. Okay, good. All right. I'll keep the big one in. So I'm going to incorporate. I usually do about a third, and then I do a little incorporation. I usually work in about thirds just to make sure it's... And this is one of those recipes you don't want to overwork this quick bread, because if you do, it messes with the crumb. So don't overwork it. There's my second third. Stir that in. Yeah, I remember my Aunt Tampa used to make tons of these every summer. We would go to her house, and yeah, I remember my cousin Steve and myself, always having to grate all the zucchinis. And we were little, and I was really afraid, of hitting my knuckles back then. I don't think I had one of those special gloves that they make now. Everything seems like there's a lot more layers of protection these days. All right, my last third. Just folding everything in. Oh, this is just a beautiful batter. It's got a lot of egg in it, which is really nice. And the zucchini, I like the color, as you'll see in the final product. The color is really nice. I'm going to give you guys an idea of what this dough should look like. I'm going to keep our batter. Should look like. See, it's kind of nice. See all those little flecks of zucchini. I smell the olive oil with the nutmeg, and I use the Denise Langevin, which has this kind of vanilla aroma to it and flavor. Let's slide that out of my way. Okay, so the next step is I've got my pan. As I showed you, I've never want to waste any fresh olive oil, so I've got that. It's pretty much dripped out there in the pan. I'm going to coat that. I do like walnuts a lot, so I'm going to work in some walnuts. You can kind of make this recipe your own if you want to do pecans or any other nut. You're welcome to do that, but I personally like walnuts. They're really good, healthful nuts and really great brain food, so I like to have a real healthy walnuts in there. I've heard of chocolate chips. Now, I'm trying to keep it healthy here. I did toast the walnuts first. You don't have to, but they're just chopped pieces. And then the pan, like I said, see how much olive oil I didn't waste? I'm very happy. I think I got more probably soaked in my brush than I realized here. But nice to just kind of coat the pan. It's actually a fairly non-stick pan anyway. I'm going to work in my batter. Oh yeah. This is going to be amazing. I love that it's not too sweet. And you can really taste the zucchini and the olive oil and the spices. It's really good. Got a really nice cinnamon in there. And so I would say it's a little over halfway full. So plop that in the oven. And I actually have a swap that Megan made last night, so I'm excited to show you guys that. Hop in here, so you can see the crumb, so you can see like all the little strips of zucchini in there, the nuts. It smells so good. I'm going to put it here on the plate. Now, of course, you could put butter on this. A lot of people would do that. For breakfast or brunch, you could also toast it in a pan to warm it up, but I like to serve it with just a tiny drizzle of olive oil. As you guys know, look at that color. The aroma with the zucchini and the spices and the fresh oil is really, really good. And it's very moist. I think you guys will really enjoy this recipe. Gosh, I have to I don't want to take too big of a bite. I'll be chewing too long and can't talk. All right, let's see. Oh yeah. This looks so good. Oh, wow. Denise, you did such a great job. Wow. This is fantastic. With this olive oil and the zucchini bread, oh, and the nuts, it's spectacular. It tastes amazing. I can't wait for you guys to try it. I want to know what you think. If you make zucchini bread, I'd love to know your recipe or what you add, your secret ingredients or flavor additions. So please share those in the comments below. And happy drizzling.